Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So tomorrow launches the new update, Module 29, A Mountain of Flame. And with it will come a new lockbox. Interestingly, it's not going to be what we expected. We will have the Leaping Flame lockbox. Now we did get a bit of a teaser of this new mount, but I had assumed we'll be getting the Firefox lockbox as per this artifact and the teaser we got of the Fox mount, which has since been removed and replaced with this. But I guess this will be the first lockbox with Module 29, and the Firefox one most likely being the second one, like 2 months later. So we are getting the Bestial Fire Archon mount and the companion Diana the Acrobat. You can see what both of them look like here in the picture. Unfortunately, I can't show you them yet in game. You'll have to wait till tomorrow. That will be when it will be available on the bazaar just here, with the Astronautica lockbox going away. I would recommend just purchasing a bunch of these just to keep them as storage if you don't already have a load, as their price could very well go up over time as they become no longer available. And that's a general tip for pretty much all lockboxes. Always buy a bunch you won't need, save them, and you'll never know down the road they might sell for expensive or you might want what's in it. But then we have some more details on this Bestial Fire Archon. A little bit of lore here. Some wizard went and was able to trap an Archon within the armor, and there we have the mount, but it ate her notes and she can't reproduce it. But ultimately, the stats. What is it gonna actually benefit us with? Well, it is absolutely a 4-slot Insignia bonus mount, and it will very nicely be coming with Tactician's Precision. That is huge because there are currently only 3 mounts in existence which can grant you that, and it is the best mount power you want to have as a damage dealer, particularly for single target. That cooldown reduction is just huge, and having now a 4th mount with it, which is going to be a lot more accessible, is great. You can now have the Demon Wings and this new mount, and that way you can have 2 of them account wide on all of your characters, rather than having had to get the event exclusive ones. Of course, there is also other bonuses you can get with this, like Protector's Covenant, Lionheart's Perseverance, Executioner's Covenant, and Survivalist Expertise. They are useful in certain situations on certain roles. So I am delighted to note that I guess they finally listened and realized that's what we want, Tactician's Precision. It has been quite a long time since they released one mount with it, since the Demon Wings. Now, in terms of the combat power, it's actually going to be pretty useful for, as they put it, burst damage for those artifact burn phases. And yep, they're totally correct. We will totally be using it for that with its Magma Pool debuff, increasing the target's damage taken by 15%. This is very good, as it will now go on this list here. Basically the same 15% debuff that Swarm will grant you in Eclipse Line and the King of Spines and the T-Rex. So it's another very solid bonus that tanks and healers can use to support the team. Now it is a bit of a multi-target effect with putting these pools of magma on the ground with a bit of direct damage initially as well, so you can potentially use it for that. It does have a max target cap of 15. We'll just have to see how big the areas are and whether it's that viable. It does some, I guess, decent damage output, 860 magnitude total with that debuffed effect. So already tanks and healers, it's very useful just for that debuff effect, but damage dealers we'll see maybe in multi-target. But damage dealers, absolutely you want to be sticking to your normal single target mounts. This will not be one you want to use in boss fights. Leave that to the healers and tanks. We do have some more details here, exactly where the magnet pools are going to be positioned based on where you cast it, and their radius is like 10 feet. Again, max target's 15, that's great to know. There are some known issues here where the dots will say overwrite each other by the most recent one rather than the one that has the highest debuff value. And then just the simple equip power, blazing opportunity, combat advantage, and critical severity. Not bad, we can use that depending on what builds. Again, that's at 100% Mount Bolster. But moving on to then the companion, Diana the Acrobat. She is one from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoons, so she has a bit of history, and she's ultimately going to be focusing on a bit of melee, multi-target damage, AoE, area of effect, and also grant everybody a 10% movement speed buff. That is very nice to see. It will depend on the content whether it'll be useful to runner, but even just going in like mini dungeons and having that extra movement speed to get through it quicker can help an awful lot. And it is special because 10% is more than what we usually get at just 5% on these companions. Now the enhancement, so this is going to be the purple power that you find like right here, will give you the ability to just have plus 5% movement speed. And be aware that the 5% power will only be for your companion, allowing them to deal a little bit more damage. So yeah, it's useful, I guess, just to have that true movement speed bonus. There is like a temporary one that can give movement speed, like a chance when you attack somebody to give you movement speed, but that's not nearly as useful because you have to be in the fight, you have to be killing things in order to actually gain that. This is going to be a consistent bonus regardless if you're in combat or attacking anything, just so long as your companion's nearby. Very neat for, I guess, a build who wants to stack up movement speed. The utility enhancement then, this one is just the equip bonus that you'll see here, like these other powers. And that's just going to give 3.75% movement speed and 3.75% stamina regen with the combined rating. This I find not very useful. I don't really know why you would use it other than just for the movement speed. They say mainly tanks would use it, but no. I wouldn't recommend it if you're a tank at all, because you can't really sacrifice like your awareness, your defense, your crit avoidance for this. They just don't really have it good enough gear to be able to give up those nice bonuses that companions can give you there. So this isn't really an option. Maybe if they doubled or tripled the bonus in like fire themed maps, then it could be useful, but as is, no. But then yeah, she has some combat powers there, and it basically explains her abilities to have some melee damage in a cone attack, her smash ability, leaping into the air, striking the ground, releasing a pulse of energy that damages and knocks down enemies caught in the blast, and then just giving all allies 10% movement speed, with a range of 80 feet, max targets 20, prioritizing players before NPCs. And that is ultimately it for the lockbox. I think it's decent. The companion's unique with a 10% movement speed buff right there. That will be useful in certain situations. Definitely not a must-have. But then the mount in particular, super useful with Tactician's Precision. And also, if you don't already have the support effects here of other mounts, then that's very useful as well, particularly for healers and tanks to support the team dealing damage in your artifact calls. Ultimately, will I open the lockbox? Well, yes, but that is because I'm not currently opening a certain lockbox. The mount I do want to obtain for the Tactician's Precision for some of my characters, but the companion I'm unlikely to keep other than copying it to the previous server and basically having it here to make a movement speed build. Not fully practical, but it's nice to see how much you can obtain. Not too bad, but I was looking forward to the new artifact for tanks, but I guess that will have to wait. The Heart of the Volcano, which would give like stamina regen and defensive stats, super good for tanks, and 1800 item level. But that's coming with the Foxfire lockbox, which will probably be in a few months still. Or they may even just change their mind and do whatever and not even release that now. So once again, thanks for watching. A special thank you to all these channel members, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.